So when you first get here, you looked at these numbers. How did you navigate sort of like the salary negotiation process? Like how were you, I mean, was it easy? Was it hard?
From my situation, there was no negotiating. Like they don't negotiate.
They were like, here's the number.
It is what it is, but it's a great number.
It's a great number.
You know,
it was definitely a bump.
Oh yeah, it was a bump. But you know what the thing is too? When you first look at it, so number wise, it could be the same, but then you just look at everything else that you're not paying for and what you actually get to keep.
Right.
And then the thing is, what you keep it in your pocket is crazy.
It's way more, yeah.
Yeah, so it's way more. Because in the States, you have to pay taxes and things like that.
Especially in New York City, state, local.
Exactly.
You're getting banged all over the place.
Exactly. So here, you don't pay any state taxes. You do have to file. So I file every year.
You do have to file your U.S. taxes as a U.S. citizen. That's the one wrinkle with us and everyone else in the world.
Yeah.
British, Australians, any other expat do not have to file taxes back home generally.
Yeah. So
us as Americans, you have to file taxes back in the U.S. and you have to report all the income that comes into your bank account. And you have to file your FinCEN every year, right? To report foreign bank accounts, right? So you do have to stay compliant with that even if you're outside the U.S. But the good thing is, and I guess I could speak to this, is that when I lived in the UK, you have to pay British taxes, UK taxes, and I still have to file back in the US. Yeah. So fortunately, between the UK and the US, there's a treaty because the UK charges generally higher tax rates than in the US. So because of that, you get forgiven. But you do accumulate foreign tax credits, which is great, right? So you can, that again, I'm not an accountant, so you can use that to offset future credits if you ever go to a place like Dubai or low tax rate environment. So you can sort of save your money that way.
And we're not tax advisors, but one, I think, generic kind of benefit that you could throw out here. So say if you make 150,000 out here, the first 100K is exempt.
I think it's higher. It's 120 now.
Oh, it's 100. Okay,
it's 120.
I use a tax accountant. I don't even want to get into that. I just give them all my paperwork and documents.
Up to a certain amount of, I think your first portion of your salary is tax free.
Exactly.
Plus, you get the housing benefit.
And you get a housing benefit. So just to make this simple, if you make 150, you get 120 exempt. So it seems like you're just paying. If you do have to pay taxes, it'll be on the 30K. Yeah, which is significantly lower than paying on the whole 150. But there's other benefits like housing housing exemptions, which you could add on that. So you're not even going to pay on the whole 30K. You wouldn't even
pay it 130K. You may be tax free in certain scenarios, right? Depending on how high your rent is here, right? Yeah. So there are you are better off here than you are back in places like New York or Los Angeles, where those cities tend to be tax higher. So there is a financial incentive to come here, right? Exactly. And I guess from a compensation perspective, when you first get out here, you alluded to it. You're keeping home great, right? Like when you first got here, were you just blowing through money? Like, were you financially savvy? Did it take you a while before you got there? Did you purposely sort of say, you know what, like I'm going to spend everything I got because I want to make sure I have a great time. And then further down the road, I'll sort of like handle that, because you see a lot of it out here, man. Yeah. Like guys get out here, they start buying Porsches, Rolls Royces, rates because they can do it. Yeah. They're spending all this money in lavish apartments, but they're not really saving. And sometimes they're going out of debt. And they're going into debt, right? Yeah. And I did read a statistic that 60% of expats that come to the UAE leave in a worse financial position than they were when they first got here, which is crazy to think about.
You get caught up in the hype. You
get caught up in the hype. And that's true. You know what? UAE hype is a thing. Yeah, UAE hype is a thing, man. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, you go everywhere, you see the nice cars, the beautiful buildings and all that. So it's like
nice restaurants. Exactly. You can go out every night. You see clothing. There's Dior, Chanel. Now it's all within range for a lot of these people, right? And they've never had it before, and they go crazy.